It was a dark age for Oklahoma football. The program was just coming off of a 3-year probation, and the Sooner Nation was ready to get back in action. It was a time when quarterbacks were pocket passers and their defenders struggled to reach the ball before it launched down the field. If there was ever a team to depend on one single player to rush the quarterback, it was Oklahoma with former All-American defensive end Cedric Jones.
No running backs. Jason Mills drops back, being rushed by Cedric Jones. He's hit, he fumbles, and let's see who recovers. Back to pass, Lethbridge being chased. He'll be sacked. Back at the 30-yard line, Cedric Jones. He drops back to pass. He's sacked. Back to pass is Chris James. He's chased out of the pocket and sacked by Cedric Jones.
Cedric Jones was born and raised in Houston, Texas. Growing up, his love for football stemmed from playing with other kids in his neighborhood.
Growing up, born and raised in Houston, and grew up in a, kind of apartment complex, and, where we had a lot of, other kids my age, but a lot of older kids also in the neighborhood. So just grew up, playing in the neighborhood with the older kids, different sports, whether it's football, basketball, some baseball, different things like that. So, that definitely was the everyday process growing up and competing and, having fun amongst friends.
Influenced by the defense built by Barry Switzer and watching guys like Brian Bosworth, Jones decided to join the rival state across the river after graduating high school.
Once you're growing up in that environment, once when I was a kid growing up in Houston, like you say, you watch OU, they was one of the premier programs in the country. Usually the only time we got Oklahoma was against the University of Texas, and when they go to the bowl game, the Orange Bowl, national title game and stuff like that. So, it always was one of those programs, those premier programs, that it was like, where you watched them and you seen all the success they had, that, that became more of a dream, or more of a long dream, not necessarily that's something that you can attain.
In his junior year, Jones recorded 5 sacks against Texas Tech, setting the school record for most sacks in a single game in program history. In '95, with 4 seasons under his belt, he ended with a career total of 31.5 sacks, setting yet another school record.
It was, electrifying. When you reach a certain point, you have different goals and different stuff like that, but, at the same time, you stand in the moment, the situation and trying to deal with the situation that you got at hand.
Cedric was selected 5th overall in the 1996 NFL Draft by the New York Giants.
Sitting in Houston with a bunch of friends, with a bunch of my high school, teammates. You got to get the call, answer the phone, and, it's going to be a number that you really don't recognize or what, and you answer the phone, and, at that point, it can be, it's pure joy or what.
In the 73 games he played as a Giant, he accounted for 144 total tackles, 106 of those solo, and racked up 15 sacks. He also played a key role in helping his team reach the Super Bowl for the first time in a decade.
I don't know if, maybe some kids probably, picture themselves, playing in that game and running that game or what, and, I guess my dreams never went that big where you thought, and I can play in a Super Bowl, I can play in a Super Bowl, but, looking at it and running out the tunnel, you flash back on all the times that you're just sitting at home, watching the game with family, watching the game with friends, and now all of a sudden, on the opposite side, now you involved in this game, or what, it can be, overwhelming and unbelievable, at the same time, what you like, is this really happening?
Jones left the Giants in 2001 to go play with the Rams, but due to injury, he would be prevented from ever playing another down in the NFL. However, his brief time with the Rams wouldn't be all for none. Today, Jones works for the Los Angeles Rams as a scout.
I had an old teammate that I played with the Giants and with the Rams, You know what I mean? He was like, hey, I got something for you. I want you to come up and, you know, spend some time with me because I think you'll be pretty good at this job working in the personnel department. One of those jobs or what that, you know what I mean, you got the license to watch football from day to night, you know what I mean? So I can watch football from 7 in the morning to midnight and just trying to find players. So it's one of those jobs that you definitely gotta love football and love the game.
31.5 career sacks, 6 tackles for a loss, and 5 sacks within a single game are all inked within the record books of one of the most historical programs in college football. But the legacy Cedric Jones leaves in Norman goes far beyond the stat sheet. Jones hasn't allowed the beaches of Malibu or the bright lights of New York to blind him from what he truly sees as home. For over 2 decades now, the single-season sacks, tackle for loss, and career sacks program records all belong to Cedric Jones. His determination and drive during the rebuilding stages of Sooner football set the bar high for all defensive ends and the many seasons of Oklahoma football yet to come.